How do you do, everyone? You know who I am, your slop operator, ETTemplar, Supreme Misfit Professional Dipshit. So we are reacting to something that is it's getting apocalyptic out there. So let's go ahead and react to this, shall we?
Did you know that you could be the proud owner of your very own personal robot for less than $6,000 now? Apparently, Unitree Robotics, which is a leading Chinese startup specializing in
So only for $6,000, you too can have a Chinese robot in your house spying on you. And if the Chinese want, they could probably hack it and strangle you in your sleep. So yeah, it's a cheap robot, but China in the past has been known for putting spy devices or listening devices in everyday products. There was someone who took apart their vacuum, and they discovered it was like spying on them. So now, if you're dumb enough to buy a cheap robot for $6,000 to put in your house, again, how do we not know that there's a back door into all these robots that China can, like, activate something to strangle you in your sleep or commit acts of war against the United States? This is something we should consider here. So, it's...
Advanced Robotics just announced the R1, which is their newest humanoid robot model. And this is a significant step because they're saying that it's going to be positioned as the world's first such robot that is priced below $6,000. And it's going to be designed for potential applications in research, educations, homes, workplaces, which is going to just build onto their reputation that they already have for their quadruped and bipedal machines already. Now,
So we can be stuck in a situation like Star Wars Episode 1 and 2, where our entire society has been infiltrated by foreign nations' robots that could be turned on in the flip of a switch and do damage to infrastructure. Again, we don't know what kind of additional programs in these robots. We don't know if these robots are loaded up with, like, Simtex or explosives. You never know. So, again, we're reaching the point where it's...
the R1 starts at 39,901, which equates to approximately 5,900 US dollars, which is a significant reduction from the previous H1 model, which was $90,000. Now, this announcement coincided with China's World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai. As for now, it's in the early press release stages, but not yet listed for direct purchase on Unitree's website, although it is expected to become available soon for developers, labs, and early adopters. Now, the R1 is about 4 feet tall, apparently, and weighs about 55 pounds. It's got pretty decent mobility and dexterity because it has 26 separate joints. In addition to the physical characteristics of the robot, it's also got a multimodal AI with voice recognition, image processing, and also large multimodal models for interaction. Now, they haven't fully...
And those are all different ways that China could utilize to exploit the West or whoever they're selling these robots to. Or am I just being conspiratorial? I mean, you'd have to be an absolute idiot to allow an autonomous robot made overseas. Maybe that's just my paranoia, but if this is me, no. And especially, I don't know. I just see nothing but disaster coming from this. And it's not just China. There's probably other nations that are probably going to be doing the same thing. And I don't think, for the sake of national security, that not a single one of these units should be sold or allowed here stateside.
disclose the details of like the battery storage or power or anything like that yet.
Which a battery can be used as an explosive if utilized correctly. I'm just saying.
But the specifics on like runtime and things like that should be released prior to people being able to purchase it for commercial use or private use. Now, these specs and like the dollar thresholds that they're charging for this robot are a more affordable alternative to the high-end humanoid robots like what Boston Dynamics or UB Tech have recently teased with, which were around $20,000 for a house.
And let's be fair here, even if it's Tesla or Boston Dynamics, if you're buying a robot that can easily be hacked into and you don't know there's a backdoor or way for an intel agency or company to hack into it and change it while you don't know about it. Again, there's just so many levels. It's not just Chinese robots, Tesla, it's Boston Dynamics. And it's like with every other messaging service here in the United States, WhatsApp, Telegram, They boast that there's open-ended encryption, that no one's seeing your text message, but the CIA and FBI have proprietary technology to get into WhatsApp and Telegram and see your messages. Every texting services has to allow a backdoor for the CIA and FBI for investigatory or surveillance purposes. So not only can you not be spied on, but now you can actively have a automaton. If the government deems you a threat, could hack into that automaton, have you kill you in your sleep, or bludgeon you in the head with a hammer, or grab a gun from your safe and shoot you. So, and again, we don't have like Asimov's rules for robots yet, do we? So I know the only thing I see, yes, can robotics improve society? But there's always a catch. Whatever you advance for good intentions can also be used for bad intentions. That's my thought.
Household model. However, that being said, you have to keep in mind that there's going to be differences between like an American made, robot that's built for home, like household use, compared to a Chinese robot that's built for household use, right? Because
and both are probably going to be spying on you and or might be used to kill you.
At the end of the day, you get what you pay for, right? So it's just kind of.
And then, do I need to even mention the advent of AI? We're steamrolling towards like Terminator future, a Terminator timeline, and everyone's just going along with it as if no one's seen the Terminator movies, where AI takes over. And if you have something like Star Wars had it, where a sentient AI could jump from robot to robot, how do we like? The only thing I see from this is not only betterment of humanity, but imprisonment, and I just see nothing but like bad things happening alongside the good. So there obviously needs to be not a government institution, but a global, like human, like United Nations. Maybe there's a Department of Robotics, because government, states, intel agencies are going to use these robots to kill people. It's just like commercial drones. Whereas normally drones were used to take cool flying footage or pictures, and now they're using use drop bombs. So at one point, is the first automaton robot going to be used to assassinate someone? It's coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Kind of interesting. I thought you guys would find it interesting as well, just because, I think technology, the advancements in technology and how quickly this stuff has been developing is fascinating. So anyway, I thought you guys would.
Fascinating and stupid. So that's the if I was to write a horror story based off this, here's a free one for you, if anyone wants to borrow this idea. So what I could foresee is China floods the United States with these automatons, these robots, for $6,000. Maybe they get a cheaper model that lures more Americans into buying these robots. So you have every American household has one or two of these robots to assist with the children, or help with life and stuff. But the Chinese government, what if they have like a blanket patch update where the robots, I don't know, slowly brainwash your children, because you're not going to be watching these robots the whole time. So how do we not know that these robots and automatons are going to be influencing your children or be used in acts of terror and violence against a nation state? Which that's what I foresee going, because it's humanity. Why wouldn't you? If you could corrupt someone's robot and get them to assassinate its owner, you don't even have to use any cost except the cost of hiring a hacker or inputting a code or a software update. And that's what I see from this. It's going to better humanity, but at the end of the day, like everything else, like with cell phones, for example, these are essentially just listening devices these days. These automatons, robots, and drones are going to be utilized in the same way. And it's coming. If not 1 to 5 years, I see maybe 10 years down the road. So not with the development of AI, we don't know how far this dystopian future will go, but I think I foresee just bad things from this, period. I love robots. I think robots are cool, but not at the cost of having like a Star Wars Episode 1 and 2, like Confederacy of Independent Systems robots, like massing around your neighborhood and enforcing Chinese rule. Yeah, and don't tell me that the Chinese, we're not going to do that. We just want to sell robots. Yeah, okay. That's this is my 2 cents on it. Chime in on the comments down below, like, dislike, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, that's my 2 cents. It just doesn't bode well for society and humans.